The 2015 Dallas Stars put all their eggs into the firepower basket, and honestly, it almost worked.
In front, a shot, they score! Ben gets the second assist!
Really, if their formerly stellar goalie Leighton hadn't suddenly turned into a vapor, Jim Nill's master plan would have come together perfectly. See, Nill is maybe the only GM in the league that would look at the 2015 season not as a failure, but as a fluke. 9 times out of 10, this would have worked, I assume he thinks, and honestly, I agree with him. What were the odds the Stars only got one breakout season from their 1,400 NHL-ready defense prospects, and that it happened to be from the one guy who, though a genuine star, was bad defensively? What were the odds Tyler Seguin put together an MVP-caliber season and missed a month thanks to a stupid hit? What were the odds that, again, the Stars, after years of sound goaltending, suddenly had none at all? There are plenty of alternate universes where the 2015 Stars were at least a playoff team, probably some where they were a titan, but not this universe. Jim Nill knows this shouldn't have happened and it wasn't his fault, a confidence not often found in NHL GMs. He's going to try this again. Now, Nill isn't a fool. He's not going to run back a carbon copy of the 2015 team. That would be a recipe for disaster. But his upcoming offseason will be one of tweaks, not overhauls or teardowns. First comes the draft. The Stars opt for a semi-high-risk pick. Denis Gurianov, chosen 12th overall, is a divisive figure. Some see him as a top 10 talent, while some, like the Hockey News' Ryan Kennedy, have him outside the top 60. Even NHL Central Scouting has him graded as a second rounder. He's probably a bit of a reach, but he's an offensive dynamo and a high-pace, big Russian. Nill has one of those in Valery Nichushkin, no shame in getting another toolsy player. He is signed in Russia, but that's rarely an obstacle. Like I said, risky but understandable. The fit should be there, but I do think it's strange that they gambled again with their second rounder on a guy that Central Scouting had projected in the third round, Roope Hintz. Hintz is a burner and a dynamic offensive player, say what you want about the picks, but Nill knows his team's identity. They are fast-paced, and they score goals. Stars management are also acutely aware of their massive goaltending deficiency that sunk them last season. Now, there's always a chance Kari Leighton, the Stars' once elite starting goalie, could rebound, but getting another glorified backup, Jonas Enroth type, is not going to cut it. Michael Neuwirth, Thomas Greiss, no thanks. There's really only one starter quality option out there, even if his track record isn't spotless. The Stars send their 7th round pick to San Jose, skipping the line to negotiate with former Vezina finalist and Stanley Cup champion Antti Niemi. They lock him up shortly thereafter for 3 years at $4.5 million AAV. The contract means that the Stars are now paying their goaltending tandem $10.4 million. Both have had great seasons in the past, and though Niemi is probably an upgrade on Leighton, the former was in 2015. There's a non-zero chance that behind this defense, which is bad and unlikely to make some sort of massive improvement, neither of these guys are any good. Niemi feels like a panic signing to a degree, while simultaneously being the only move in net that would have made any sense at all for where this team is. When free agency proper comes, like I alluded to earlier, there are some minor departures. So long Jonas Enroth, we hardly knew ye, and Sean Horkoff, who will be 37 when the season starts. The market, especially after day one, is pretty devoid of forward talent beyond, Joel Ward. While the Stars do have a bit of money to spend still, maybe they can use it in a more efficient way than paying some random dude in free agency. The Chicago Blackhawks, the defending Stanley Cup champions, winners of 3 of the last 6 cups, finally have to pay the piper. They've already been forced to ship off young star Brandon Saad, but they're still in the 9th circle of cap hell. The Axe finally headed toward the core 6 that had been mainstays of the 3 cup teams. The Stars reap the benefits. Dallas sends the skilled and pointedly cost-effective Trevor Daley along with Ryan Garbutt with half of his $1.8 million salary retained to Chicago for prospects Stephen Johns and Patrick Sharp.
He's looking for a hat trick. Sharp to the goal. He scores! Patrick Sharp eluding the poke check of Marty Brodeur.
Daly and Garbutt really personify two separate issues the Stars had in 2015. Daly was the high-speed, all-offense defenseman whose defense was so bad that even though he was a double-digit goal scorer, he was still outscored at 5-on-5 significantly. Out of every single Star, only one had a sub 50% expected goal share at 5-on-5. Just Daly. A guy who, if you haven't seen any of my videos, I love, but his talents didn't click in a way that moved the needle for the Stars. It really won't work out in Chicago either, but I've talked about that before. Garbutt was suspended twice for leg-related crimes. He and his line-mate Antoine Roussel are very similar players. The Stars don't really need both minor penalty merchants. Stephen Johns is on track to be a sound defense-first D-man. Sharp is about to turn 34, but you can't deny his 3 Stanley Cups bring a winning mentality to the room, or whatever GMs like to say. Sharp often gets framed as a two-way forward based almost entirely off his 7 shorthanded goal season in 2008, but that isn't really the case, at least not anymore. He doesn't kill penalties anymore, and his 5-on-5 defensive impacts were never all that great. Sharp is a scorer, more specifically, he's a shooter. He has a solid shot and has made his money by putting a lot of medium danger wrist shots on net. Something interesting about that though. Guys who take a high quantity of wrist shots bring value by scoring goals, obviously. But there's a secondary important factor that brings value on shots that don't go in: rebound chance creation. If you don't score on the shot, creating a rebound often sets up a great opportunity for your teammates. 2 of the league's other premier wrist shooters, Phil Kessel and Tyler Seguin, generate rebound shots on over 5% of their wrist shots, while less than 15% of their shots are frozen, essentially the worst-case scenario for a shot on goal. In contrast, Patrick Sharp in 2015 only generated rebound chances on 1.9% of his wrist shots, and 24.4% of those shots were frozen by the goalie. My interpretation of this is Sharp probably trying to do a little too much, trying to score on every shot as opposed to ripping a shot off the goalie's pads to create for a line mate. It doesn't really signify great shot selection, and there's value in just putting the shot on net, but sometimes a long-range shot into the goalie's crest can kill an offensive surge. That would track since by his high standards, Sharp struggled a bit offensively in 2015. Only 16 goals in 68 games, coincidentally both marks shared by Daly, though Daly had a much higher shooting percentage. All that being said though, Patrick Sharp is still a genuine top 6 scorer, which the Stars suddenly need again since the wheels seem to be falling off Ales Hemsky. The Stars, now with a hole in their top 4 defense group due to shipping off Daly, make a move to bring in an oppositely styled player, Johnny Oduya. Oduya is a very sound, very unexciting defensive defenseman.
To the front, kick back out, Carter and try, and skidding one across and shaking up a little bit. On the play was Johnny Oduya. He saved the goal.
With John Klingberg's emergence last season as a big-time point-producing defenseman, Alex Goligoski being a solid option himself to run a power play, and even Jason Demers having some offensive flair, the Stars no longer need much scoring punch from their number 4. Oduya goes out there and he eats minutes, and the other team rarely scores with him on the ice. He's reliable. If the Stars are going to run it back with the run-and-gun style, they need some reliable sprinkled in. That's really it. It's a very similar roster to the 2015 Gunners, just with some tweaks, some improvements, and some insurance. Unlike last year where the team was hoping for a youth injection on defense, which sort of happened, sort of didn't, this year they have a couple young forwards soon to be ready to contribute. Matthias Janmark and Radek Faksa both once had higher pedigrees offensively, though they've stagnated as scorers since their draft years. It's unlikely either will be a top 6 scorer in the NHL, but both have the makings of bottom 6 checking and defensive contributors. Opening night, there is the question of which goalie will take the net. Alright, let's look at how the preseason went. And the Stars only won once, huh? Well, who won it? Alright, Antti Niemi it is. 37 saves and 0 goals against later, it looks like it was the right call. Hey, first goal, first game, good for you, Matthias. Maybe these guys are different. Maybe this year is different. Maybe it just took another year to get things sorted out. Then the Stars are back on their bullshit. They lose their second game by blowing a 3-1 lead as Niemi gives up 6 goals. See, these are the Stars I know. 3.9 all situations, goals against above expected. That's the good stuff, baby. Running it back. It's just going to be the same as last year. I don't know what we expected. Then something magical happens. Jason Spezza's finishing regresses. Spezza was a career 13.9% shooter when he came to Dallas. He proceeded to shoot 8.3% in 2015, scoring just 17 goals, the lowest full season mark of his career. Had he shot at his career average, he'd have scored 28 goals, a pretty major difference for a team with a +0 goal differential. Spezza solidifies a win against the Oilers, completing his hat trick into an empty net. He's here, and the Stars are off to the races. Including the Edmonton game, the Stars reel off 5 straight wins. Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin combined for 9 goals in that stretch. I mean, things aren't perfect. The goalies get dumpstered by the Panthers to end the winning streak, but neither has been bad to start the year. They're consistent. They're not great or anything, but they're not going to, cost an extremely high-scoring team a playoff spot. The Stars goalies will combine to allow 0.39 goals above expected over the entire season. They will be aggressively fine, and as a result, things are going to really change around here.
Straight away. Fakes a pass, moves it a little closer, lets it go, he scores!
The only thing I wish is that Patrick Sharp would... speak of the devil, 4 goals and 3 wins. Okay. He starts a huge comeback against the Ducks, he opens the scoring against the Canucks, then ties it late, then opens the scoring again against the Sharks. This team has the juice. Okay, so they lose to the trying to lose Leafs. Hi, Brad Boys. Nice to see you're still kicking around. Brad Boys, did you know that you were the 3rd forward on the 2006 All-Rookie team with Crosby and Ovechkin? Brad Boys, do you know that no Blue has scored more goals than you did in 2008 since then? Not even Vladimir Tarasenko. You're a pretty cool cat, Brad. After that loss, the Stars continue just ripping through the opposition. They go 10-2 over their next 12 games. They're just icing fools. Now, through 24 games, they're 19-5-0. They're on pace for 130 points. So how are they doing it? Well, they're a 54% expected goals team at 5-on-5. You play like that, you're going to win games. They're getting very solid goaltending. Niemi and Leighton have even won the Stars a couple games. Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin are absolutely obliterating the competition. Ben has a stat line of 18, 17, and 35, and Seguin one of 13, 21, and 34. They were probably 2 of the top 10 players in the league last season, and they're somehow even better now. The Stars are transition demons. They're actually a bit ahead of their time. Most of the league is still in the big and slow shot volume mindset of the 2012 and 2014 Kings. The Stars are all about quality rush chances as opposed to just whipping everything on net. To look at their rush under a microscope, we must again consult the book. Jack Hahn's 2024 Hockey Tactics. The 2025 version is out. You should get it. I'll link it in the description. And look at Lindy Ruff's systems with the Devils, namely his breakout. See, the 2024 Devils ran almost a jailbreak breakout, sending the weak side defenseman up into the rush. This can lead to terrific odd man opportunities for teams with strong skating defensemen. Think Dougie Hamilton or Luke Hughes for the Devils. It's not a system without a downside. If the opposition's weak side defenseman reads the play and picks off your breakout pass, your net front guy is already halfway up the ice, leaving your goalie completely exposed. You can see in this clip here that the Stars run essentially the same system. Jordy Ben goes busting up the ice to create a 4-on-2 and a half. Klingberg does this all the time. I mean, last year Daly scored 16 goals doing it. It takes a decent amount of buy-in to absolutely haul down the ice to maybe theoretically be involved. These stars are bought in. This breakout is another example of the Stars optimizing what they have. They have a lot of mobile defensemen, they have a lot of firepower, so if you go down and get a scoring chance or sustained pressure, which the Stars have the personnel to do, it doesn't really matter as much if your defense is slightly overextended. So this is editing, Ben, to show you the most whack example of the Stars breakout that I could find. So it's here against the Leafs. They rim the puck around, and it blows up. This should be a blown play completely. And it's a foot race here between Sharp and Matt Hunwick. All right, so it should be blown here. Matt Hunwick should beat Sharp to this puck. He does not. Sharp kind of gets it. But Hunwick eventually takes Sharp out of the play. They both fall down. But who is this? Who is this star who just came into frame? Yes, that's defenseman Jason Demers in hard on the forecheck. He is going to keep this play alive. Who is the Leaf covering him? It is winger P.A. Parento, I believe, who is extremely confused. Demers keeps the play alive. Hunwick and Sharp get back up. The puck finds its way to Sharp again, and he jams it home for a goal. The Stars' defense is so aggressive, they have Jason Demers in on the forecheck, and there's a goal for Sharp. The Leafs are so funny during this era. The Stars' aggression in their own zone is what kickstarts their fiery offense. Say what you want about 2020's Lindy Ruff, but in 2016, he's fairly innovative. Their next stretch, I look at and say, yeah, that doesn't seem that great for them. But they still go 9-3-3 over those 15 games. It just shows how good they've been that a run like that seems like a low point. I mean, they're not perfect. How could a team be? The goaltending will still get lit up from time to time, but everyone's does, so who cares, really? There's a clear demarcation among the defensemen that is worth noting, though. The top four, Klingberg, Goligoski, Oduya, and Demers, each play over 20 minutes per night. Then Jordy Ben, Jyrki Jokipaka, Patrick Nemeth, or Jamie Alexiak play sub-15. A clear message from Ruff that he doesn't really trust, any of those guys? Even Jordy Ben, who started last season on the second pair. When Nil goes shopping at the trade deadline, it would make sense to add a depth defenseman. Also, Ales Hemsky is officially toast. He has 13 points in 37 games. He's been banished from the top 6 in favor of Eves, Janmark, or Nichushkin, which shows how dire the situation is. He's poor defensively in a checking role while not really bringing much on offense or even the second power play anymore. He's just here. Almost halfway through the season, it's time for the Stars to face their first adversity of the year. They fly across the country to the Big Apple, baby, and lost to each of the tri-state teams in increasingly bad ways. OT to the Devils, 6-5 failed comeback on Long Island, and then brutalized by the Rangers 6-2. They fly home, regroup, and win a shootout over the Jets, though they only scored once in regulation. They repeat the latter feat against the Wild, losing 2-1. Then they go off to California, losing to Anaheim, heading up the coast to lose to San Jose, and then back down to lose to the Kings.
Up the middle, shot by Lucic, scores!
Well, that's discouraging, I say, of the team that's still 29-13-5. They only scored 19 goals in this 8-game stretch. If the Stars are not scoring, they will lose. If they hit the 3-goal mark in a game, they have a good shot at winning. If they don't, it's very unlikely. I guess that's true for most teams, but if you look at a defensive team like, say, the St. Louis Blues, they will win 6 different games where they only score once in regulation. For the Stars, that number is 1. That shootout against the Jets, who I forgot to mention, stink. The Stars don't look immortal like they did before the calendar flipped to 2016. After they stop the bleeding by sneaking past the McDavid-less Oilers, the Stars look okay to start February. That is until the goaltending bursts into flames. Heading into the month, the Stars goalies had stopped 6.5 goals above expected. In a month and a half, that mark will have cratered to negative 10.2. The fun part is, it's both of them. Niemi and Leighton haven't really planned out when to be good. They're either both playing well or neither is playing well. Likely not what the Stars envisioned when they went into the season with, again, a $10 million goalie tandem. When two meh goalies time out when they're good, they sort of become one very good goalie. The Stars unfortunately just have two meh goalies. Despite the fact that at their core they do know it's the goalies, the Stars' defense isn't perfect, so they did make a move at the trade deadline to bolster their defense in the midst of another stretch where they lost 7 of 8. Out are Yoki Paka, former second-rounder Brett Pollock, and another conditional second to Calgary in exchange for Chris Russell. Russell was massively overtasked in his role in Calgary. He's not the number one defenseman they were playing him as. He racks up blocked shots with the team, yes, but having a large number of blocked shots typically means that you're getting shot against a lot. It's not necessarily always a positive stat. Russell is very defensively sound, though, with good puck-moving abilities and a solid shot. He's good, but he was at his best playing 18 minutes a night with Columbus earlier in his career, as opposed to playing 23 minutes a night with Calgary. With the Stars having a sound top 4 already, which minute total do you think Russell will get in Dallas? Oh, the way you're framing it is probably 23. Then that would be the one I wouldn't expect. Good instincts, but unfortunately you're wrong. Russell won't play 18 or 23 minutes per game. He'll play 24. Listen, the goaltending may stink, and Chris Russell may be getting too much ice time, but at the end of the day, we still have Seguin and Ben. Oh, come on! Seguin's Achilles was partially cut by Anton Stralman's skate. He'll be out for the rest of the regular season, but hey, he should be back sometime in the first round. This could have been way worse. The Stars have a nice point total. They're in no danger of missing the playoffs. Seguin can rest up. And look, Stephen Johns, the other guy from the Sharp trade, is up with the big club, and Ruff already likes him way more than the rest of the third pairing bums. As if knowing they need to lock in, the goaltending finally returns to average following the Seguin injury, and the Stars cruise without their elite scoring winger, going 8-2-0 over their last 10 games, and staving off the Blues to win the Central Division and Western Conference with 109 points, the second highest total in the league behind Washington's 120. They were led by Jamie Benn and his 41 goals and 89 points, the third and second highest totals in the league respectively. It was essential that the Stars overcame the Blues too for the sake of the playoff matchups, as the Blues now get to play the Artemi Panarin soon-to-be MVP Patrick Kane defending Cup champion Blackhawks, while the Stars get the privilege of playing the bum-ass 38-win Minnesota Wild. The Wild were fairly bad to start the year, but they fired coach Mike Yeo, which does have a track record of working out for teams, and marginally improved under interim coach John Torchetti. Still, the Wild tried hard to miss the playoffs. They lost their last 5 games of the season to teams that were bad, mediocre, bad, good, and bad. But the Avalanche, the only team that could have even possibly caught them, lost 6 in a row to end the season, presumably while motioning no after you. So let's meet our friends, the 2016 Minnesota Wild. My sweet members of the 2006 and 2007 Sabres, what have they done to you? You're boring middle six scorers. Jason, you've always been a low percentage shooter, and Thomas, you've always been horrible defensively. But this is ridiculous. Man, basically no one on this team is shooting very well. I mean, Charlie Coyle and Eric Holla are doing okay, but they have 21 and 14 goals respectively. I see Jarrett Stoll is on the team. That's fun. And he's played 51 games at a 13% shooting percentage, which I see equals 3 goals, because he only had 23 shots. Huh. The best forward on the team is probably Zach Parise, while his friend and fellow 2012 free agent signee Ryan Suter is the best defenseman. They're both great players, Suter being the better of the two, But realistically, it'd be better for either of those two to be the second option for a team. Mikko Koivu is the team's captain and an elite shutdown center, but again, a good team probably isn't playing him 20 minutes a night. Nino Niederreiter is a great 3-and-D guy, a term I stole from the NBA, meaning he has great finishing talent and strong defensive impacts. He's currently underrated, but after a long and fruitful career, he'll eventually be underrated but a decade later. Mikael Granlund can pass. Jason Zucker can shoot and skate. I don't know, do you guys have an opinion on Chris Porter? Jared Spurgeon pairs with Ryan Suter. That pairing is truly very good. No notes. Matthew Dumba plays with either Marco Scandella or Jonas Brodin. They're all solid. The defense is much more impressive than the forwards. Dumba puts up points, but he's erratic and bad defensively. He's only 21, so what do you expect? But it will likely impact his ice time. And Nate Prosser. Well, somebody had to be the sixth defenseman. But then you get to the goalies. Young Darcy Kemper backing up Devan Dubnyk, who was terrific last season. After he was traded to the Wild in 2015, Dubnyk dominated with a .936 save percentage. He was a Vezina finalist and nearly a Hart finalist. The league even gave him the Masterton since he played for both Edmonton and Arizona and didn't retire. This year, he's been just okay. His save percentage is good, but not great at .918, and he saved a whopping fifth of a goal above expected, which is better than Antti Niemi, who has only saved a tenth of a goal above expected. Dubnyk is twice as good. Realistically, the Stars should obliterate this team. Yes, many of these same Wild players upset the 112-point Avalanche just 2 years ago, but this iteration of the Wild is much worse. 11 points worse, in fact. They have a minuscule edge in goal and a small edge on defense, but the gap between the forward groups is gargantuan. Especially with, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier, both Parise and Vanek out for the series. Niemi and Leighton have traded starts all season, no reason for that to stop now, but for Game 1, Ruff goes with the classic, Kari Leighton. Minnesota has nothing. The weak offensive squad can't even take advantage of the Stars' fairly porous defenses. The Stars just own the Wild in the first, though Dubnyk keeps it tied, but it isn't long into the second that Radek Faksa scores the first playoff goal of his career. It's a romp. Spezza blows by Matt Dumba, Eves scores a dirty goal in front, Ben ices it with an empty netter. A playoff shutout for Kari Leighton, and the Stars are up and running. Game 1 not decisive enough for you? Alright, Tyler Seguin's back for Game 2. It's not as decisive a romp to start the game. The Wild do have some degree of pushback, but early in the second, Antoine Roussel scores one of the most freakish goals I've ever seen. What could Dubnyk have possibly done? For some reason, at the midpoint of the game, Ryan Carter of the Wild tries to pick a fight with Kari Leighton during a TV timeout, earning a 10-minute misconduct. In the third, a home run pass from Cody Eakin finds Jamie Benn for the eventual game winner. Marco Scandella's power play tally serves as the Wild's first goal of the series, but they have nothing going offensively. Weirdly quiet game from Seguin, though. I guess he was just trying to get the rust off. Wait, no. It turns out his calf exploded at some point in the game because he came back too soon from his Achilles cut. He's done for real now. The Stars will likely be without Seguin for the rest of their playoff run. It's times like this that I wish the Stars had gone out and gotten a goal-scoring winger with playoff pedigree to step up. Oh, right.
Fire on goal, scores! Alex Goligoski. Healthy scratch in games 1 and 2. Plays it ahead. In comes Sharp again. Shoots, scores! Patrick Sharp again!
The Wild don't leave the first period on a completely down note, though. Chris Porter scores on a weird deflection. That isn't nothing, but Leighton has been so good in the playoffs so far, I'm riding with him. But in the second, another weird deflection skitters past the Stars goalie to tie the game. Leighton has trouble with traffic in front, and the Wild have finally figured him out. The Wild take the lead later in the period as Niederreiter turnstiles Klingberg, leaving the puck on the doorstep for Jason Pominville. More mucking in front gives the Wild a 4-2 lead in the third. Yet another deflection, this one from the Stars, brings the game within 1, but it's too little too late as an empty netter from Pominville ices the game. Okay, so the Wild have cracked the code on Leighton. Well, I guess that means it's Niemi time. In Game 4, for the first time, the Wild score first. Uh-oh. John, I love you, buddy, but you have to learn to move people in front of your net. You're a big guy. Fortunately for the Stars, it's time for Hemsky's first playoff goal in a decade. The problem is, the Wild are actually playing pretty well. They have a bottom line featuring Curtis Gabriel and Zach Dalpe, but they're all showing up. Coyle forces an uncharacteristic mistake from Alex Goligoski, and the Wild burst the other way to take the lead back. This is a fast-paced period, though. A Chris Russell wrister is tipped right under Dubnyk's glove and into the net. I feel like this is before we invented shooting because, man, lots of tips. Speaking of,
Score!
The Wild show a lot of fight in the third, but it isn't enough as Niemi stands tall. The Stars hold on to send the series back to Dallas up 3-1. Minnesota just continues to be an annoyance. They force another error from Goligoski to open the scoring in Game 5, and longtime quadruple A player Jordan Schrader puts the Wild up 2 not long into the first. But this is just a roadblock. A blast from Oduya brings the Stars within 1 before the end of the first. Unlike Game 4, the second in Game 5 is uneventful. But a minute into the third, Jamie Benn dekes Dubnyk out of his pads to tie the game. It lasts 90 seconds before Nino beats Klingberg again to reattain the Wild lead. But going punch for punch is what the Stars do best. 2 goals in 30 seconds near the halfway mark of the third period from Spezza and Goligoski ripped the lead from the Wild, putting the Stars firmly in control. As time waned, the Wild's captain rose to the occasion.
Goes back in front. She scores! Mikko Koivu ties it up!
Into overtime for the Stars. This is really taking longer than I would have liked. At least the Blues and Blackhawks are beating the hell out of each other over there. Should be an easy second round matchup, and the Wild just scored. Come on, guys, we know how this is gonna end. I know Sagan being out gave you hope, but get a grip. You don't have Parise or Vanek. Where do you think you're even going if you win this series? The Stars have a cup to win. Get out of the way. The Stars go back to Leighton and in net for Game 6. Like I said, they're just going to keep flipping. Klingberg opens the scoring on a 5-on-3, and the Stars commence pummeling the Wild. Goals from Spezza and Sharp put Dallas up 3-0 before the end of the first. Thank you, Wild, for listening to me. Another goal from Jamie Benn makes it 4-0 in the waning moments of the second. It's over. Until the Wild come out roaring in the third. On the back of their young star defenseman Jared Spurgeon, the Wild reel off 3 quick goals to inch within 1. XL Energy Center is electrified. They stay like that for 2 minutes. An extremely demoralizing goal trickles past Dubnyk after spinning way up in the air and landing behind him. Another fluke that broke the Stars' way. A goal from Jason Pominville brings some life back to the Wild, but it isn't enough. The Stars hold on. They're headed for the second round, having finally dispatched of their quote-unquote easy matchup in 6 games. Dallas had punched their ticket to a meeting with the team that had chased them all season. The Central Division and Western Conference's second best team. The Stars' polar opposite, the St. Louis Blues. The Blues are not a very strong offensive team. They were 15th in the league in goals for. They had only 2 players break 20 goals. The Stars had 3 break 30. They are, however, an extremely strong defensive team with either the best or second best goaltending in the league depending on what metric you use. Let's start by getting to know the deep but unremarkable forward group of the St. Louis Blues. Obviously, the Blues do have one remarkable forward. Vladimir Tarasenko is at the absolute peak of his powers with one of the deadliest wrist shots in the league, incredible puck skills, and terrific skating. He is the engine through which the Blues offense runs.
By Schwartz, now Tarasenko again. Oh, what a move and a goal! The shot! Oh my! He has done it again!
At 5-on-5, Tarasenko is joined by two-way pass-first Yori Laterra, who I must say is not, has never been, and will never be a first-line center, and Jaden Schwartz. Schwartz missed most of the regular season with a broken ankle, but he is the Blues' number 2 guy in terms of pure offensive punch. The Blues are basically 3 second lines, so the second line features 200-foot scoring winger Alex Steen with another strong passing center in Paul Stastny and forecheck man Troy Brouwer, who, though featured in a disappointing trade where the Blues lost TJ Oshie, is a fairly functional player. The third second line is focused on its center, Captain David Backes, a big, tough-as-nails net front scorer. He's often flanked by the speedy rookie Robbie Fabry and the reliable Patrick Berglund. The fourth line isn't a fourth second line. I mean, it's Scotty Upshall, Kyle Brodziak, and whoever. Former stars Steve Ott, Ryan Reeves, Dmitry Yaskin, you know. The defense for the Blues, though, is a different animal. Their bona fide number 1 is Alex Pietrangelo, probably underrated at this point in his career, but he's a terrific 5-on-5 defenseman, though he wasn't the factor on the power play in the regular season that he had been in years past. He's joined by the boring compliment Jay Bouwmeester. The second pairing has a similar composition, with fleet-footed, offensive-minded giant Colton Parayko and the bland Carl Gunnarsson. With Pietrangelo having a relatively down season, the Blues turned to the 22-year-old rookie Parayko, who dazzled. Like they had 3 second lines, the Blues have 2 top defense pairs. The third pair is the one the Stars will want to attack, with the Blues' other rookie blue liner Joel Edmondson and their power play quarterback Kevin Shattenkirk. But even with that said, it's not like this is a bad pairing for the Blues, far from it. But for all of their strength on defense, the Blues won their series against the Hawks because of Brian Elliot. Elliot was half of the Blues' goaltending tandem throughout the year, splitting time with the younger Jake Allen, but when the playoffs rolled around, St. Louis went to the veteran. A somewhat interesting decision because Elliot hadn't been especially good when he had played in the playoffs throughout his career. The Blues had generally deferred to Yaroslav Halak when he was available in years past. Even just last year, they'd gone with Allen for the playoffs. But Elliot was the hot hand heading into the playoffs. Since the 2016 New Year, he'd gone 18-4-4 with a .935 save percentage. You can't argue with that. He stole games 1 and 3 against Chicago. Without the Moose in net, the Blues are likely golfing right now. But on the other side of the same coin, Elliot was the only reason the series went to 7 games. He struggled in Game 5 and was downright bad in Game 6. He's enigmatic. There is an equal chance he steals the series from the Stars as there is he blows it. But I kind of buried the lead with the Blues. Here's their coach. Wait, do I know him? Hold on, here's this. Oh, Ken Hitchcock! The man that led the Stars to their only cup was now in their way. Hitch is why the Blues play like they do, their ultra-defensive, give-up low-danger opportunities style. If he has the right personnel and the team is bought in, it works, like it has for the Blues. But Game 1 in Dallas is a track meet, exactly how the Stars won it. Elliot stands tall. The Stars have numerous grade A chances against the regular season save percentage leader, who flails but keeps the puck out. Until right around the game's midpoint.
A shot box and denied. He scores! Antoine Roussel!
This is the Stars' depth. They're so much faster than the Blues. This is their ultra-aggressive transition game at play. Out east, the Penguins dusted a strong Rangers team with a similar counterattacking style. Oh, hey Trevor, how'd you get over there? Klingberg's ability to become a fourth forward in transition makes this squad so hard to suppress. But halfway through the third, Kevin Shattenkirk lasers one of the most perfectly placed shots I've ever seen through 4 stars and into the net. Suddenly, the game was tied. Who's ready to watch the Blues get toasted in transition?
30 taken by St. Louis. Renick pucks up. Right in, Hemsky denied, they score!
Okay, I'm not a super knowledgeable football guy, but this goal brings something to mind. You know when a slow cornerback is matched up against a fast wide receiver? If the slow corner plays too close to the line of scrimmage, the wideout will blow right past them. Slower corners have to give a little bit more space. The Blues are the slow cornerback. They're in a 1-2-2 with a four-checker, 2 forwards on the offensive blue line, and 2 defensemen on the red line. All it takes is one run-of-the-mill pass from Goalie to create an odd man situation. The Blues are an impeccable defensive team, but it's very possible the Stars are their kryptonite. Dallas continues to hammer the gas. They don't score again, but they continue to outchance St. Louis and keep the Blues on their heels. Leighton does what's needed as the Stars close out a Game 1 victory, 2-1. Stephen Johns did shoot Patrick Eaves, so it's not all roses, but hey, Val Nichushkin can come into the lineup as blah as he's been this year despite his obvious talent. The Stars start Game 2 with a bang as Goalie obliterates a pass from Jamie Benn past Elliot. But oh yeah, Stephen Johns has played like 20 NHL games. He bites hard on a Blues zone entry, leaving Patrick Berglund uncovered. Tie game just 35 seconds after the Stars open the scoring. Then a few things happen. The Stars continue to light up the Blues in terms of chances. Leighton is pulled after giving up 2 more goals, a total of 3 goals on 5 shots. Back to our frequent referencee, Jack Hahn, he shared a pretty interesting but basic goalie evaluation tool given to him by goalie evaluator Brian Decord, father of NHL goalie Joey Decord. It's a 4-point scale to rate each goal. No chance, could have had, should have had, bad goal. The Berglund goal, should have had, sure. Edmondson goal, could have had, but it's a great pass and a great shot. And the Brouwer goal, could have had, maybe, but that's on Demers losing his man. Part of what has separated the 2016 Stars from the 2015 Stars is their goalies giving up far fewer should-have-had goals, while the Stars defensively have done a much better job at keeping the no chance and could-have-had opportunities to a minimum. Here in the first period, with all the momentum on their side, the Stars' defense failed. In comes Niemi. The Stars have a much better second period, but they go unrewarded on the score sheet. You don't want to be behind the Blues. Finally, Matthias Janmark, who has been shot out of a cannon, soars between the Blues' best defensemen to bring his team within 1. Time wanes in the third, but when the Stars need a big play, a fight, a hit, a goal, they've turned to one man, and Jamie Benn has the puck on his stick.
A chance, a goal! Jamie Benn ties the game!
Despite forcing the OT late, the Blues own overtime, forcing the Stars onto their heels. After a penalty from minor penalty merchant Antoine Roussel, David Backes slams home a second chance opportunity. The series is tied, headed back to St. Louis. It's Antti Niemi's net to lose. Oh, there he goes. It's Kari Lehtinen net to lose. The Stars get rinsed in Game 3. It's an ugly defensive performance. On the goal that got Niemi pulled, Chris Russell's ankles were snapped in twain by freaking Troy Brouwer. With the game out of reach, Johns viciously boards Pietrangelo, which results in his teammate Curtis McKenzie, in the only playoff game of his career, being beaten up by Ryan Reeves. 6-1 Blues. Things feel grim. The Stars' goaltending has not been good, while the defense has been horrifying. Even the normally reliable Goalie, Oduya, and Russell haven't looked so sturdy, and John Klingberg is John Klingberg. The Stars need something in Game 4. Well, that's not going to help.
Camped out, it's a breakaway. Tarasenko's in, he scores!
The Stars have officially made Lindy throw his gum. And moments later, the Blues are bearing down on Leighton once again. Kari stands strong. Still, the Blues are trying to run the Stars out of the building, but somehow, after 1, the deficit is still just 1-0. Early in the second, the Stars have a chance to tie. Of all the Stars forwards to have picked off this pass and gotten a grade A scoring opportunity, horrible pass by the way, Joel, really awful, Radek Faksa would probably have been Lindy Ruff's last choice. Faksa shot 7.5% in the regular season. He's one of the NHL's worst finishers so far in his short career. On the Stars, only Nichushkin has had worse finishing luck, but he will eventually be a goal scorer. Faksa will not. Even in juniors, his value never came primarily from his scoring. But here he is, with his team in desperate need of a goal.
Faksa with a shot, and he scores! Radek Faksa!
Shortly thereafter, Jamie Benn feeds Patrick Sharp. I gotta be honest, dude, I kind of forgot you were here. 2-1 Stars. Near the midway point of the period, the Stars get another grade A chance, and of course, it's on the stick of Radek Faksa. I mean, guys, we gotta be realistic here, come on. The Blues tie the game on a 4-on-3 power play, a tip from Paul Stastny, and thus begins a war of attrition. Neither team really gets much in the way of quality chances. The series is tightened up, which definitively favors the Blues. Game 4 reaches overtime, but it's short-lived.
Cutting over the line to the outside, a shot taken, they score! The Dallas Stars!
We have a tie series heading back to Dallas, advantage Stars. Well, it seems like it's good luck to have Brett Ritchie in the lineup. Dress him again.
Again, just throw it to the net, and there it goes. Right call, John, off of Ritchie's right skate.
Well, that'll be that. But the Stars respond quickly as Goalie laces another outstanding shot into the Blues net. The Blues take the lead back in the second. I'm not sure Klingberg's ever going to be good in the defensive zone. Just let him take the point shot, man. It's Jay Bouwmeester. The guy's got 7 career goals left in him. The Stars own the possession game, but another goal from Brouwer makes things that much harder. Elliot doesn't budge. The Blues win 4-1 and push Dallas to the brink of elimination. The Stars have to go into St. Louis and force a Game 7. They stick with their goalie after a loss for a change, still scarred from Niemi's sieve-like performance in Game 3. Janmark flies the zone to get his team started. Seconds later, Vern Fiddler lengthens the lead, and late in the period, Jason Spezza, oh yeah, he's here too, makes it 3-0, chasing Elliot after his stellar Game 5. Here's the graph from Hockey Reference of every Stars shot in Game 6. They will finish the game with a whopping 14. They are done scoring. Can they hold on? The Blues now own the possession game, dominating the Stars. Leighton, and finally, with the confidence of his coach, stands tall. Still, Alex Steen puts the Blues on the board. Man, the Benn line is just awful defensively. That's cool and all when you have Tyler Seguin and you're scoring a ton, but when you don't and you're not, your defensive deficiencies really shine. But even after Patrick Berglund scores once again to cut the lead, great play by Jori Lehtera, I can't even be mad, Kari Leighton holds the fort. He finishes Game 6 with 35 saves on 37 shots. After everything, after overtly sucking last season, after the Stars got another goalie in the offseason, after being mediocre in the regular season, here's Leighton, winning his team games when they have everything to lose. He's the starter. He's taken the mantle back. The Stars will go as far as he takes them. Oh, there he goes. The Stars will go as far as Antti Niemi takes them. 4 shots went past Leighton in the first, though one was called back for offside. 5 saves on 8 shots. The Stars own the chances, but they're dead in the water. They're desperately missing Seguin. Backes and Brouwer score to make it 5-0 by the end of the second. Eves brings his team within 4 in the third. The fans cheer. The players do not. Tarasenko ices the game into an empty net with just under 5 minutes remaining. I would say the Stars got reverse goalied, but they only scored once, so I have to stretch the definition. They somehow got both goalied and reverse goalied. Tyler Seguin's absence burns in the mind of everyone. There's always next year for this 109-point team. Except there wasn't. Stars overtly blow chunks the next season. Seguin and Benn regress from superstardom to simply stardom. Spezza slides from star to contributor, and Sharp fades quietly into that good night. The goaltending somehow gets even worse. Leighton in his regular bad, while Niemi is pants down taking a dump bad, which feels awful for 2 guys in their early 30s that were once elite goaltenders. The Stars missed the playoffs in 2017, which gets Ruff canned, replaced by, of all people, Ken Hitchcock, who is the antithesis of everything that filled the 2015 and 2016 Stars with joy. Dallas then gets a few moments under Jim Montgomery before the similarly boring Rick Bowness takes the helm, further smothering the team's offense. But it didn't last forever. The Stars of today have rediscovered fun. I mean, they traded for Mikko Rantanen. Come on, that's sick. Under the tutelage of Pete DeBoer, the Stars are exciting, fast, risk-taking. And you know what? They're good. Really, really good. Beating the immensely talented Avalanche while riding a blue line of an incredibly talented offensive D-man and his reliable veteran partner felt like 2016. If you squint hard enough, Thomas Harley and Esa Lindell start to look like John Klingberg and Alex Goligoski. The 2015 and 16 Stars played some of the most electric hockey ever. They deserved so much more. But with the two princes, Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin, still on the team, there's still a chance to make it all worthwhile.
Marchman drives to the net. He holds, finds a cutter, scores!